My nephew.
Oh, what's going on?
What's up, baby?
Nothing much. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Let's have a seat, man.
Yes,
Let's have a
sir.
seat.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, man, we back in action, man. We back with another
Yes,
episode of Days with Days. This time I got the special privilege of talking to my nephew.
I appreciate you.
I said it, my nephew. You know what I mean? Our boy Jakob Lawson, a.k.a. Hey Cobb.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I call him Cobblestone.
Hey, that's all right. But
You know what I'm saying? My son call him Bob.
that's all right.
Right?
But I'll take it all. That's fine with me. That's
Yeah,
cool. That's cool.
For sure, man. Listen, I wanted to sit down with my boy Cobb because I feel like you are one of the hidden gems in the city, not just in the city, not just in the upstate, in the state, in the southeast.
That's love. I appreciate
you
that.
one of them people, man. A lot of people don't know a lot about, but when they get around you, I feel like it's instant. Like, wow, this dude is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Man, listen, so I want to start off with giving you your flowers because we talk about this all the time, and we're here right outside of Sound Standards. So if y'all need to come get some work done,
Hey,
I literally text people when they text me. I showed it to you. They be like, bro, where should I go? I'm like, hey, bro, book my boy Cobb. Send him the link, and that's it. Right?
I'm never gonna tell them no.
Never gonna tell them that paper talk.
That's all right. Yeah,
And we like to say hello.
got to,
man.
Yeah.
But I feel like I want to give you flowers, man, because you're one of our strongest pieces, man. And I'm not just saying that because I work with you, but like realistically, bro, like you do a great job of engineering.
Thank you.
But also too, I want people to know like he ain't gonna tell y'all, but he can sing. I had Cobb in the booth 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's the fast. Honestly, bro, when we did that, that was the first time I had ever put my voice on that mic in there.
Wow.
Because I know we had done like as far as like testing and stuff like that, but I mean, my job's sitting in there, so I'm not really ever in the room at that time.
Yeah.
So no, it was cool. But
I love that, brother. I love that for the simple fact that I've heard you sing. You know what I'm saying? Like his brother, y'all may know his brother, Jordan Lawson. They
Shout
look
out Jordan.
identical. They're literally twins. But Jordan can sing. Jordan can sing his butt off. And then I was like, he can sing too. I know it. And one day I caught you humming in there.
right.
And I said, yeah. And my thing is sometimes within this business is maximizing our talents, right?
Yeah.
So it's oftentimes, and we've been in the studio a lot, especially over the last 3-4 months.
Yeah.
We've been in the studio a lot. And I've noticed like with you, a lot of people may just use you as an engineer.
Mhm.
But I know for me, it's like, no, I'm gonna try to use all his talents,
it.
whether that's production, because he makes beats as well, and he produces vocal production,
Yeah.
right? Because as being a good engineer, we're both engineers, but we both understand the concept of vocal production as well, right? You just can't press record and just be out the way.
I learned a lot from you. So
Hey, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But like, I think the most impressive thing that I've noticed about you is how you listen and how you adjust,
Word.
right? And what I'll say is, as a producer and a fellow artist and engineer, those are very, very, very hard things to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For a lot of people, because some people are stuck in their ways. It's like, if it's not going this way, we don't know what to
Right.
do. You can pitch the note. You be like, hey, you should do this note right here, right? That's vocal production.
Mhm.
Right? You're recording it and now you're moving stuff around as you are, you know what I'm saying, engineering, right? So, because most artists, especially around here, are looking for something that sounds radio ready when they leave the studio.
Yeah. Absolutely.
When we know it's like, I haven't even mixed it yet.
Right.
But that rough mix is important to them.
Yeah.
They're going to
absolutely.
play it 100 times before they call you to get it mixed,
Yeah.
right? So, I want to talk to you about, and I want you to, answer this question for me. And, answer however you would like to. But I want to talk to you about your process as an engineer first, right?
Okay.
And I mean, you ain't got to give up none of the secret sauce and nothing like that.
But
But like, what do you enjoy the most about engineering?
especially like when it's with like people that like either with people I know or just over time, like working with people, like when you can be a part of somebody's creative process and bring like, when somebody brings me an idea, the fact that they even choose to come to me with their creative ideas in the first place is a blessing in itself. But two, just being able to help make their ideas the best that they can be.
Yeah.
Is with anything, just always trying to, any way I can help, like I'm always try to. And Yeah, it really just being there to try to help the process go along, and really just trying to, I know we talk about this all the time, but just trying not to overthink stuff too.
Yep.
Because, especially if there's like a time crunch, you can get in and start thinking like, oh, I got to try this note, or let's see if I can like try harmonies here and stuff like that. And like as you know, there's places for stuff like that and songs just as well as, but also too, with that being said, like you don't want to overcomplicate something to where it doesn't have the same idea and feeling that you were wanting the song to have.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. I know it's fresh. It's been a couple weeks now. But the Bossman Dlow plaques, right? Yeah, the gold plaques. I want to congratulate you one more time.
Thank you.
Man, I was as happy for you. I'm not gonna say as anybody because I'm sure it's more. But I was extremely excited for you and happy for you because I remember you as an intern.
Yeah, I remember that day. Yeah, absolutely.
I remember the first day you walked in. I was working with Jordan Easler, and shout out to Jordan Easler.
Yeah, shout out Jordan for sure.
And this is when the studio was Speak Life, and I was working with Jordan on a young ladies mix, and he told me, he said, I have some interns coming in. Were you in school at the time still?
Yes, I was actually. That was honestly I want to say my senior year going into Upstate. I was a finance student at Upstate. Shout out Spartans.
Hey.
But so that was during, I want to say like the last semester of my senior year.
Got you.
Yeah.
Because I remember it was you and it was another guy as well. I can't remember the other guy's name. It was another intern that was coming up during those sessions. And I remember you would come in and you would sit in the back for a little while, but then you'll come up and you'll ask questions. And I was like, I like his vibe. He's cool. Because Jordan was asking me, like, what you think about him? I'm like, I like his vibe. Or seems cool. And then over time, like, getting in sessions with you, I was like, because I'm very particular, as you know, right? I'm very particular. And it's like, some stuff I don't like. Some stuff, it's like, and it's nothing to do with the person. It may just be like, I don't like how a certain person runs.
Yeah, it's just like the energy, especially, I know, especially with stuff like that. Like, if the energy is like, doesn't feel right in a room, there's only so much you can do to like make that better, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So no, I get what you're saying 100%.
Yeah. Sure. So when I finally got, I forget what our first session may have been, like with you just running it. It may have been All Is Well, maybe.
Maybe, honestly, especially with how many, which I'm blessed to say, but with how many we've had, I'd have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah. But whatever session it was, we was in there, and I was like, let me just see how my boy work, and it was such a relief to be like, oh man, like he works exactly how I like engineers to work.
Okay.
And I love that, man, because like we were able to build at such a high clip to where I was like, I can trust him, right? And because that's a big thing, bro. Like you know this, like that's a big thing, like trusting the engineers, trusting the producers, trusting the songwriters. And then over time, as that developed, I wanted to work with you more and more. Right.
I appreciate that.
So I want to fast forward because we did something cool about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
We went out to Phoenix, Arizona. We had a camp out there, and I was blessed enough to have, my nephews with me. I just want you to talk about that, man, that experience and how it may have shaped your thinking or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Especially with it, because like I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm like a shy person. I'm just not necessarily like as outgoing as other people. And so like when it was first brought to me, especially when I can't remember what session it was, but when it was first brought to me, like my very, very first initial reaction was like, I don't know, just because of just like not me being super comfortable with like either meeting new people and doing stuff like that. Because we had a good amount of group of people that, and a lot of them like I was familiar with like Josh and Jarvion and them. Yeah. With there being some people I didn't know, I was like slightly hesitant at first. Yeah. And then like maybe 3 seconds after that thought hit my head, I was like, nah, I'm going. Yeah. If there's a way on this earth, thank you, sir. Yeah. But if there's a way on this earth, I was definitely going to go. And I'm so glad I did, just with the experience of just being one from, because as far west I've ever been is Nashville. Yeah. So from going from Nashville all the way to the out in the West Coast in Phoenix, was just a cool experience for me in general, just because I've never even seen stuff like that. And then two, just taking myself out of that comfort zone and just getting to work and having like the main focus of us being out there was to work.
Yeah.
And
we worked. It wasn't a lot of sleep. It wasn't a lot of sleep.
Yeah, no, especially I know a couple nights where we went until I couldn't go no more. Well, I guess it was the first night or the second night I had that migraine and we couldn't. We finished it up at least. We got that one done.
And we got some amazing records.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you guys to hear these records, man. Shout out to Frankie Zombie.
Yeah, absolutely.
The whole crew we had out there, man. And that was another thing, working with you out there. That was our first time. We had to share a room, so it was the first time we had to be around each other all day.
Right.
And you get to experience a different kind of bond with somebody when you're like, oh, I'm not just popping up for a few hours. It's like, no, we going to dinner together. We going to breakfast together, lunch.
Put me on some vegan food. That was good.
Put you on some vegan food. You know what I'm saying? My boy, hey, it was rocking too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I said, like that too. Like that's something like I never really tried. So I just gave it a shot. And yeah, good picks.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Like I really enjoyed working with you guys because I'm a person to where I'm a dude, right? So it's like to see how you and also, I mean, everybody who's out there, but you and Jordan, how you can ask y'all to do one thing, y'all be like, oh yeah, I got it, and then y'all are trying to find solutions, right? I'm very solution based, you know. Instead of like, if a problem happens and we first got out there, the speakers weren't working exactly how you wanted to, and instead of y'all being like, oh well, it was like, let's figure this out,
right?
And I really appreciate that. I know Frankie appreciate that. Because you know it's, man, listen, that's hard to come by, you know, these days. And I know I skimmed over this, so let me go back. The Bossman Dlow plaques. How do you feel about that? Having, and this, I don't know how many people in the city actually have gold plaques. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not.
But you have two.
Yeah,
two. And we're gonna speak this into existence. Platinum is on the way.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I'm like I said, I'm not gonna tell you no.
Come on now.
But first, before I speak on it, I can't thank Maddox Chim. Maddox is the guy who brought me in I assisted mixing for a majority of the project, and
shout out to
so
Maddox.
I had to shout him out for sure, and all the guys, My Audio Academy, Jordan Easler, Kevin McCluskey, Prizzy, all those guys have just mentored and like shaped me really into just understanding a lot of the stuff about engineering in general.
Yeah,
and but no, it was it's a weird feeling. I can't lie, just because like. 2 years, and I've said this a couple times before. If you'd have told me a year ago that would have that we'd have had plaques in there, I'd have laughed. Yeah, just because I wouldn't have. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna turn the blessing down by any means.
Now you about to be laughing to the bank.
Hey, that's all right. But no, I mean it's definitely a cool feeling to help be a part of something, and like even like I'll say it's I live over at some apartments near upstate, and like hearing some of the songs that I mixed that were once sitting in that computer, and now like 2 months later you go outside and there's 200 people outside dancing to them.
And you hearing them first, right?
It's a feeling I can't describe, but it's a feeling I wish everybody can feel, just having like something that you've been a part of, like. Especially anything creatively, like being able to be a part of something that other people enjoy too. Like I know, that's a feeling that you can't describe. Yeah, man.
And like you said, shout out to Maddox, because Maddox being from the city as well,
right?
And having Grammys, plural.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing. So I want to shout out Maddox. I want to shout out Jordan Easler. I want to shout out all the engineers who are from here, who get to, because the engineers are like the offensive linemen on the football team, right? You know, like that's how I put it. The engineers are the offensive linemen. The offensive line consists of engineers, managers, producers, right?
Right.
And then it's like the artists is the quarterbacks, and the running backs.
It's all the people that got the cameras on.
Right, right. You don't see the engineers. We be up 3 a.m. mixing a snare.
Yeah.
Right. Like. Think about this.
Absolutely.
And then you got to get the revisions, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times artists may be like, hey, can you turn this part up? I don't know, it's something about this part.
Right.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you turn it up and it's like, nah, can you put it back where it's at?
Yeah.
So we have to be calm. We have to be collective.
Yeah.
And like I said, you work with way more people than I do on the engineering tip. With that, man, the level of patience it takes to become an engineer and to do it at such a high level. Like I said, man, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all are the offensive linemen. Y'all are the kickers, right? Because guess what? When a kicker line up, you expect that kick to go in, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
The kicker miss it. Now you mad at the kicker, right? That's a hard job, though, right? But it's the job. But that's the job,
exactly.
right? So oftentimes when the song comes out, we love the song. Like, who produced it? You know what I mean? That may be a question, but people rarely ask who mixed it.
Yeah.
I ask because I love what you guys are doing, man. I love what you're doing. We've also been doing these sessions, right? Which has consisted of me, you, your twin brother Jordan, who's also my nephew, and the man behind the camera at the moment, Look.
Yes, sir.
So we've been doing
Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We've been doing a lot of writing, right? A lot of production.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your production style a little bit more, because I think a lot of people don't know like how good of a producer you are as well.
Thank you.
So I just want to talk about that a little bit.
Got you. Really, especially with these sessions, we're just getting ideas, and we might not even know what we're doing until that day.
Yeah.
So that's been good just to help expand, because recently, like, especially with how mixing has been, I haven't really been able to produce as much.
Yeah.
And so that's that. And I know a lot of people might not know this about me, but that was like how I started with everything doing here was me and Jordan I would make like instrumentals with Jordan, and then we would come up here and record. But so I guess really I got a little sidetracked. But as far as like my production style itself, recently it's been a lot more like darker trap stuff. But and I love, as you know, I love R&B as well. And then
loves R&B.
Yeah,
Loves R&B.
Absolutely.
And lo-fi. He's always playing lo-fi when we come to the studio.
Every time. But I learned that from Jordan and Jesse too.
Yeah.
But every time I come in here in the studio, they'd have that on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as like a set style, I don't really like have one that I'd say is like a specialty right now. And two, I know me and Jordan are currently, we were actually last night working on the drums for one of his songs for his upcoming project. And that stuff is more like I guess like indie rock soul, kind of like a fusion of all that together. I'm gonna say, and two, if you haven't checked out my brother's music, please go do that. Jordan Lawson. But yeah, so really like I have a bunch of different styles that I like to go off of, but really it just depends on the artist I'm working with.
Yeah. You are a chameleon, I would say, in that way, because we've literally gone from doing an R&B soul record to rock record to a hip hop record to
in the same session.
And not miss a beat. And like I said, shout out to you, shout out to George, shout out to Luck for coming alongside that ride with me in those sessions as well, right? And I wouldn't take away those sessions. Like we haven't worked together all this week,
right?
And we was in the group mess like, we gotta get in again.
Yeah, right.
like
gotta get in when we can.
We built such a brotherhood in there, I would say, like, and also too, just getting to learn you over the last few months, like our conversations and meeting your lady and and things like that. I would say, man, you're just such a great guy.
Man, thank you.
I want to give you your flowers in that, bro, because like I said, it's not often where you find people who are talented, who are so cool and calm as well too, right? Because you make things a lot easier.
I try my best, but
yeah, like I said, I try to match that energy when I come into the studio. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I want to make Cobb job as easy as possible today, but we're gonna challenge each other as well.
Yeah,
right.
That's the part of it. That's one of the biggest parts of doing music that I love is like having, especially from I know y'all touched on it on the last podcast, but the Lamborghinis and Hondas. Just talking about being in the room, when you're in the room with those people who have like the same passion and equally as talent. Or say it like in my instance, sometimes when it comes to like the artist standpoint, I might not be, or at least I feel like at the level as far as compared to like you and Jordan and other people that are in the room, but just being in there, just getting that inspiration, being like, oh, okay, this is how they're moving. I'm trying to move that. Yeah.
No, you're a Lamborghini. I'll tell you that right now. You're a Lamborghini.
I appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying? like we're gonna have all Lamborghinis on this show. You know what I'm saying? All Lamborghinis. If you want to be a Ferrari, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
That's all right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what your choice is.
Nah, I'm fine. Either way, it don't matter.
You know what I mean? I like the Lamborghini.
That'll be the Nissan for sure.
Yeah. All right, listen, I gotta ask you this. Will we ever get a Jordan and Cobb song with both y'all singing on it? I just need to know.
Honestly, I'm never going to shoot it down, because I think that, especially if me and Jordan are working on something together and it just feels, especially if it's from like the production to the songwriting process, like I'm never going to shoot it down. I'm not going to say for certain yes, just because I don't really know for sure. But I would never turn that down, and I know Jordan would. Jordan would never be like, "Nah, I ain't gonna do it with Jordan with Cobb." So I know he would be cool with it.
I would personally love to hear that.
Yeah, no, I think it would be. And too, like when we were growing up, like we would always sing together, doing stuff like all around Union. So, like I said, it would never be something that I would turn down. But just at least at this moment, I'm not sure.
Well, listen, if you do it, I need to be over Days on 85 records. So,
yeah,
and we gonna make that happen.
We can do it. But say, come back in a couple of years and we'll
come back a couple weeks.
See if we did it.
Come back a couple of weeks. All right, man. Before we get out of here, man, do you have just give me a top 3 list of people we're gonna manifest, right? I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe in manifestation, right? Okay. Talking to God. Who is Cobb gonna be mixing for next year? Talk to me.
Next year.
Just put it in there. Even if you ain't talking to him right now, just tell me.
Yeah. I know. I guess if I had to start as far like more of like a local, as far as like from our area standpoint, and then up, definitely PG Ra. I've just been listening to him for years, and I know he's been like sharing around some of the people that I've mixed for currently. Okay. So I could see that as far as like something. As far as like more reasonable, I guess. And then,
all of it's reasonable, Kyle. Yeah, come on, you got gold plaques in there right now. Come on, baby.
It. And then, especially to really just a lot of people that I grew up listening to. Jack Harlow for sure. That would be insane. Just especially from the type of stuff he's doing now.
Yeah.
And then if I had to go like big, I'd love to get a Drake vocal come in. I'd love to see that. That would be like already like the. Being fulfilled in the stuff that I've been doing already, like I can't complain by any means, but I know seeing that email come across, that would be that'd be a day where I'd be running around the house.
It's not far fetched. It's not far fetched. Listen, you spoke it, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
right. You know what, man? And I got something neat to say. Every time you walk out the house, make sure I ain't got nothing.
All right. Thank you.